Now this video is one of the most insane videos that I have ever seen. As you can see, we have an ERJ-145, which now looks like this, and within just a minute or two will look like that, everybody. Yes. Today I'm going to talk about what happened yesterday in the Democratic Republic of Congo. One of the weirdest things to happen in aviation. This video is shot on the Power PS5 Plus. Yes, a PlayStation, I think. We can see a landing happening on this 24-year-old ERJ, an age that it will never exceed. We see a very unstable looking landing. The quality of this clip isn't very good. And now it gets really, really interesting as we reach lower and lower to the ground. And we are quite low now. Where is the runway? Holy moly. I guess here's the runway a little bit. This is where the runway starts. But we don't touch down, or do we? Will we? And now the runway stops? Where's the runway gone? And oh no, there is no runway at all anymore. Oh! And we've got, I think, a landing gear separation. Oh, we're just scraping the ground. Oh, that's not a nice noise. Oh my. And now we're leaving the runway. We're leaving the runway. We're somewhere. Okay, that clearly hasn't gone very well. Damn, that guy just makes a video. What a legend. The cameraman never dies after all. He seems to be like a policeman, actually. And here's part 2 of this video. We hear the evacuation horn. And everyone just jumps out of the airplane. Wow. And everyone leaves it behind while it's on fire. Everybody, what in the world happened here? Yes, everybody, yesterday, an ERJ-145LR from the airline of Airjet Exploração Area de Carga crashed one of their 4 airplanes. Airjet I've never heard before. In fact, I don't even know what the airplane looked like prior to crash because there's no picture of it. Not even Flight Radar has a picture of this plane, and also all the flight history looks really, really weird. It came in for a landing at the Kolwezi airport here in the Democratic of Congo after a roundabout 4-hour flight from Kinshasa or something. It doesn't even say the actual route here. No picture of this here. And there's one thing we can say about this airport here that the airplane crashed at. It has one of the worst runways I've ever seen. This is a Google picture from 2020, so 5 years old, but look at the state of this runway. Not only is it insanely worn, definitely decades old, but also is it only 30 meters wide, but especially initially only 2,000 meters long, which is why already a few years ago they started constructing a new runway right here. But nevertheless, 5 days ago the airport of Kolwezi started something very new. In fact, this is what the runway looks like right now. Yes, 1,000 meters of the runway 29 has been turned into a construction zone, which is definitely what we could see here in the so-called NOTAM, Notice to Airmen. It says it here, Renforcement des choses runway 29, from the 13th of November till the 20th of December, making the runway very short. We now only have 1,500 meters of runway, which is something that obviously the crew of this flight was not aware of. But hey, we can go ahead and recreate this on this ERJ-145. We now have a blank livery, mainly because I don't know what this airplane looks like. Genuinely, no pictures found online. All I do know is that we have some sort of blue on the livery. Wait. Shocking Kolwezi airport crash. This article right here uses an AI generated picture that looks like a 737. That is the worst thing that I've ever seen in my life. Oh my god. Anyway, there's one thing that we can very much notice in this video. The airplane flies extremely shallowly. Like genuinely, this airplane came in very, very flat. Not, that's like weird, obviously flying hand controlled, because this airport does not feature an ILS of any sort. Either way, what definitely happened was the crew did not realize the airport construction construction and came into the airport very, very shallowly indeed. From what you can tell from the video is that this airplane overflew the start of the construction zone, the start of the initial runway, at not more than 100 feet. You can see that definitely here in this video clip as well. First of all, extremely, like they really want to cut short. Look, then, in this frame, yeah, we can see an X marker right there. Right there. An X marker is usually placed when a runway partly becomes unavailable for landing, which is definitely what happened. And just look at how close we are to the ground. The main idea is that we were probably, oh my god, what's happening right now to us? We've collided. The main probability is that the crew probably tried flaring on this runway for way too long, overflying the runway right here and then settling the airplane in for a landing, but definitely touching down way too slowly without ever thinking about going around. Oh, and we've done this. We've definitely collided here. All right, there we go. And the landing gear collapses and we leave the ground and we burst into flames. Now, I really don't know why anyone would not go around here in this case. I mean, that's why you have engines. You are on a glider, sir. What is this? And then you touched what? We can be very glad, though, that in real life, the runway looked like this. And not like this, where we have a lot of excavators, and especially people, because fortunately everyone made it. All passengers and crew were evacuated safely, which is good because apparently the Democratic Republic of Congo Minister of Mines, Louis Watum Kabamba, was on this flight. So an actual politician. He wasn't hurt in this one either. It's probably the reason why quite a few people with uniforms were on this plane. I'm really glad that there was no bigger construction work happening here, of course. By the way, this politician is the only one related to Congolese mines over the age of 9. Anyway, as you can see, the impact probably caused the wing fuel tanks to burst and to spread very flammable kerosene all over the aft section of the airplane, which is why it caught fire right here. The airplane ended up looking like this. What a sad sight right there. So there's of course a few piloting mistakes done here. Obviously, the crew did not properly look at the airport NOTAMs before flight. They didn't brief this flight properly, maybe at all, because it clearly stated that this is a thing and this is nothing you want to land on. I think it's almost very weird because this runway is like super close. There's X's on it. So already what a stupid and definitely avoidable pilot error that led to the sad ending of this beautiful E-145. Interestingly enough, this wasn't this airplane's first runway excursion, because the previous operator of this very plane, the Swiss airline of Crossair, had a pretty serious runway excursion at the Stuttgart airport, interestingly enough. But that was in January of 2006, so history repeats, I guess. So everybody, what do we learn from this? Always read the NOTAMs and maybe look out of your window and maybe go around if you see large X's on the runway. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow as always. Good night. The special thanks goes out to my members, my supporters, Guns Killer, R27, James Duram, That Dude, Anime Gods of Gaming, Derek, Insider Plane, Nishijutsu Finer, Professional Jamal, Ryland Williams, and New the York. You've got beautiful names.